Welcome to my channel. My name is Holly. If you are brand new here, otherwise, thank you for coming back. Today I'm going to show you how I made these really cute wooden dry eraser blanks. I got them from Beyond the Tumbler. I sent her a message, asked her permission if I could make this video, and she said, of course. And so I listed her website below. She offers a whole bunch of mini tutorials on like the little glitter UV resin wireless mice, scissors, staplers, hole punchers, notebook, all kinds of things for teachers, specifically the theme is teacher related. So I got these from her. I am a teacher, so of course I'm making mine for teachers. So what you see me doing here is using alcohol inks to color in the pink sections, black and yellow. And I used my original dry eraser that I created for myself that said Teach, Love, Inspire as a template. So I'm going to use all these other ones are going to be uniform. They're going to have the same dimensions of pink and black and yellow to match the original because I like the way that looked. So I'm just going to do them all the same, line them up like an assembly line and just knock them all out. So for the yellow though, because those little knots in the wood are a little bit darker and they're going to poke through and you're going to see it through the glitter a little bit. I'm going to go over those sections with yellow acrylic paint a couple times. So I'm letting the acrylic paint dry and then I'm going to do it again until those knots, those dark brown knots are a little less visible. Now I'm using gold and silver paint markers and I couldn't find exactly where I got these. So I just said paint markers. You can find them anywhere. I'm sure Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, wherever. And I'm using that for the gold and silver. So all the glitters that I'm going to use are going to be the same colors as the paints that I am, the acrylic markers and the paint markers that I am applying to my blanks right now. Once I have all my colors laid out, I'm going to be applying Resin Rockers UV resin to the black parts first. I'm going to start with the dark section right there at the tip. And the glitter that I'm using is from PDB Creative Studio. And I think it's called a Winter's Night. I linked it below. I think it's called a Winter's Night. And it has mostly black, a little bit of silver in it. I thought it was the perfect color to use for like a pencil lead color. This glitter is not as chunky as the other glitters I'm going to be using on this pencil dry eraser. This one is probably a medium cut glitter, but looks really, really cool with the silver mixed in with the black. So I'm just going to be brushing on the UV resin to the tips, dumping the glitter on, and then putting it under my UV lamp, my UV light for 60 seconds and then another 60 seconds. So 120 seconds. Same thing with the pink. So this is the process that I'm going to be using throughout the entirety of making these my brain can't think, dry erasers. My dog is on my lap and he keeps licking my arm and I keep pushing his head away because I don't like it. It feels like sandpaper. So he's distracting me. I'll try to do better. So I did the black and I did the pink next, and now I'm doing the yellow. This yellow is called Crystallized Sun from Maestra Creations. It has a really cool, it looks neat underneath a lamp. It almost looks like there's pieces of it that glow in the dark. I don't know if they actually do glow in the dark, but it does look neat. I mean, who's going to be using these in the dark? I don't know, with a blue light or whatever to make them glow. I'm not going to, but I just happened to notice underneath my UV lamp that they did look like they glowed a little bit. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I'm going to be putting, for the gold, I am using Whimsical from PDB Creative Studio. And for the silver, it is called Girl's Best Friend from the Glitter Guy. The Glitter Guy glitters were the very first glitters that I ever discovered when I first started making tumblers, and I have a ton of them. Girl's Best Friend is one of my all-time favorites, so when I run out, I'm going to have to get some more. So I definitely have some favorites from a whole bunch of different glitter companies. So this one right here is Whimsical. And you just keep doing that process. Now, once all my glitters are placed where I want them, I do the one right at the top in the pink. You can still see the dark knot of wood coming through. So what I wind up doing is I have to touch it up again. I put a layer of UV resin over the top of it, cure that resin, and then with my alcohol ink pink marker again. I just go over it about 3 more times with that marker, and then do one more layer of the pink glitter and then another layer of UV resin over the entire blank, just to get rid of that really dark knot that you can see peeking up through the pink. And I'm sorry, my dog is just going to make noises through this whole thing, and I'm just going to let him be. So otherwise he's going to squeak at me and feel like I'm ignoring him. So here I am applying the UV resin to the entire dry eraser. And this was a little bit tricky because I wanted the UV resin to go over the edge slightly, but I didn't want it to drip down. The reason I wanted it to go over the edge slightly is because I thought it felt uncomfortable under my hand when I'm using it. That kind of stuff bugs me. I'll pick at it if it's poking out too much. So I wanted it to be smooth on the sides, and I'm sure not very many people, I don't think it would bother very many people, but I just wanted to make sure it was nice and smooth. So I had the UV resin going over the edge, and I put a couple layers on, and then I sanded it really good. A couple sections did drip down, but I just used my craft knife to pop it off. And then also, if you sand down because it's wood, it's not going to hurt the wood any if your sandpaper goes down below, you know, little drip, and you sand that off and accidentally sand some wood. It's no big deal. So that's what you see me doing right here, is popping off those little drips and then sanding and just getting rid of any chunky pieces that are poking out, cleaning it up, and then I spritz my paper towel with 99% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I'm sure you could use like a 50% or something in between. And then I think this is where I'm touching up that pink alcohol ink before I put another layer of glitter. So that's the whole process for all of these. And I want to get my UV resin over the top of those glitters and sand it down each time until I have a nice smooth base. Once all of my pencils were sanded as smooth as I thought I could get them, it was time to start finding some sayings about teachers making mistakes, teachers making mistakes. That's not what I meant. About mistakes being okay to make, sayings about teachers. My thought was that I could sell some of these to teachers or gift them to teachers, but some of them I want to have for like the students to use. So in my classroom, I'm always teaching growth mindset. So mistakes are important because they teach you what not to do. Mistakes are learning. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as you're trying, then you are succeeding. You know, get out of the pit. Don't hang down there in the, feeling sorry for myself, little ditch. Get out, climb yourself out of there, do your best, and work hard. So I wanted to have some that said like progress over perfection, the one that you cross out perfection and you type progress instead. Mistakes are proof you're trying. So I thought this would be a combination of teacher/student erasers, just for fun. So I'm recreating the one that says mistakes are proof you're trying, with a different font, and I placed a pencil behind it. That all of these I also found on Cricut Design Space. Placed a pencil behind it, and then I'm slicing out the words from the pencil, and I'm gonna do an offset. Funny enough, this was the only vinyl that I didn't put on one of my dry erasers because it was late at night, and when I was printing the vinyls, the little letters from that one in particular kept pulling off onto, I couldn't weed it correctly. So just to save time, I set it aside and I used the other ones. And before I knew it, I had vinyls on all of my pencil blanks. And I'm like, oops, I forgot to do that one too. So this one, even though I worked hard on trying to make it look like something I wanted, is going to have to wait the next round of pencils that I make. So anyway, I'm going to pass through and show you what these look like on vinyl. Okay, so this one right here, I'm not a fan of that vinyl that I used for the offset. Originally, I was going to use the light color pink, and I didn't like the way that looked with the pink eraser either. So then I did the chrome color shift. It shifts from like a yellow to a pinkish purple, which looked really neat when you're holding it and turning it and looking at the shifts. But when it's just showing that purplish pink color, I am not a fan. I don't really like the way that looks. It would have been prettier with like a gold vinyl under the black, or maybe probably just gold, or just leave it alone. Just solid black vinyl would have been just fine without an offset. So that's okay. It says progress over perfection. So it's practice what I preach, right? If I can deal with it and say that's okay, it's not perfect, but it's okay, and learn from it, then that's exactly what I teach my students anyway. So yay. So we're moving on, and now we're just using the black vinyls for the rest of these. 2 of them did have the pink offset. The rest of them have just the black vinyls. I much prefer the ones that just had the black vinyls. I think that they're more catching and appealing, more eye-catching and appealing. They look more classy, I think, just simple with a simple design. And then after I apply the vinyl, I'm just putting 2 more layers of the UV resin right over the top, and then they are done. And they are ready to go gift, sell, or whatever. So thank you, Jessica, for allowing me to do this video. And if you ever make the little mini ones for students, the wooden erasers for students, I am definitely coming to buy those from you to make some personalized dry erasers for students in my classroom. They would think that was about the best thing since chocolate, I'm sure. So that would be really fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any questions or comments you have below. And if you are not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. That would really help me out. And give me a thumbs up, leave comments. All that stuff really helps my channel. And I really appreciate your support. So thank you for watching.